We are
LaChiMoLaLa.
and this is our review for Run BTS episode 152, the beginning of a new two-part adventure. And in this one, it looks like we're going to play a lot of games about songs, mostly songs I did not know. Tammy, did you know any of these songs?
This is my bread and butter, girl. Yes, I did.
I think I only knew 4 of the children's songs. That was it.
Oh man. Okay, so they had Captain Planet. Let's start with that.
Yeah,
right?
I knew that one.
Okay, Captain Planet and the Planeteers. I knew it from the animation, but the song is totally different. They redid the song, so it's not like Earth, Fire, Wind, Water. Captain Planet. He's like, it was totally not that song. So it got redubbed. So when I saw it, I was like, I would have known that, if it was the English version.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think that Power Rangers, I recognize Dooley the dinosaur, like the name of it, but I didn't recognize the song. And Slam Dunk, I only recognize because Suga loves those graphic novels so much. And I noticed the cartoon was on Amazon Prime and I tried it one day, but literally only because of BTS. So that for me was like a full circle thing.
Nice. Yeah, it's so funny that he said it was like Final Jump. And I'm like, Final Jump? I'm like, what?
I know, it's like, what's that? That makes it sound like it's like a space thing or something, like you're jumping off into space or whatever. And he's talked about Slam Dunk in so many episodes. Like the boy loves it. Did you see how embarrassed he was? He was like really flustered and like, how could I have done this?
Unless he watches ESPN American TV, there is a show called The Jump. But there's no Final Jump, and Final Jump sounds pretty epic. So
it does actually. Yeah. I mean, it sounds watchable, right? It's the Final Jump.
No. Yeah. So basically all these children's shows are a bunch of old school anime, which is really hilarious to me because cat's out the bag. I used to love anime so much, as a kid. And so when they were showing Card Captor Sakura, I was like, I know that, I was like, okay, we watched the same anime, or cartoon, and so again, the intro was different. So I would have recognized it if it was in Japanese,
Okay, I was gonna say, are most of these Japanese cartoons and then they were dubbed in Korean, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So, and then there were really old school ones that they watched too that were like 1989, and I'm like, okay, you guys weren't even born yet, So I'm like,
there was a point where JK was like, when did this come out? And they were like 96, and he was like, that's not fair.
Yeah,
that's not fair.
he had a funny comment. He's like, I was still in my dad's side. I'm like, what? Yeah, dude, you were floating in space somewhere before you got implanted into a human. So
and it did seem like there were some of the younger ones where both Jin and RM were like, I've never heard of this. I don't know what this is. Like cartoons, I feel like are very specific. You really only watch them for like 4 or 5 years sometimes. So it's like, it's very easy to tell age gaps because people will know some cartoons and won't know others. So I thought that was really funny too.
Yeah, Suga made a comment saying, yeah, I remember going to the rental, like renting this cartoon or whatnot. And Jimin's like, I saw it on cable, so you already saw that difference already, between like the ages. But speaking of Jimin though, all right, homeboy knew all the cartoons but did not know any of the names, and we knew that he knew the cartoons because he would stand up and describe them most of the time, and you can't help but feel sorry for him because this could have been his jam if he would have paid attention as a kid to know all the titles,
Well, it totally made me wonder, is he one of those people who like recognizes faces but doesn't remember your name right away? Like, how some people are like that? Maybe he's some, like, because you're right, he described the entire entire plot of
Yeah.
every cartoon. He'd seen them all, but
Yeah.
he didn't know what any of them were called.
Yeah, and you would think like you're kind of like on the while you're watching it, you're kind of like, oh, he's gonna get this one, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh no. Wait, let me listen to it longer. I'm like, oh no.
and I also love how both V and JK have a tendency to just like yell their names and then be like, I mean, I know it. Give me a second.
Yeah.
And at one point, I think RM or somebody was like, oh, don't yell it unless you're sure.
Yeah.
Like it was pissing them off.
Oh, oh man. Okay, talking about annoyance too. Back to Jimin again. Okay, poor Suga. He knew the answers, and like Jimin's like, give other people a chance, to answer. He looks so annoyed, and it wouldn't be BTS if those two wouldn't bicker. They're
Right.
so funny when they bicker. They bicker like a married couple.
Right. Just like it wouldn't be BTS without JK and Jin sitting next to each other, and Jin's making jokes about the answers, like dad jokes, and JK's laughing. It's just the two of them. Like nobody else is paying any attention, and they're just like, Jin's making Korean word puns that I do not understand, and JK's cracking up. Their own little world.
Mhm. Yeah.
Speaking of Sugar, though, I thought it was amazing that he kept saying, like that he knew, like first of all, he complimented every arrangement pretty much. He was like, this is an amazing arrangement. Oh, this is so good. He thinks of everything from such a real musical standpoint.
Yeah.
And there was even one time where he's like, oh, I knew this right away because I wanted to sample it.
Yeah, and that was really great too. And if y'all out there don't know what a sample is basically you're using someone's master and you're popping it into your song, so that's what a sample is. So which was really funny because I was like, okay.
I mean, that's how much he loved that song. He was like,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about using this in one of our tracks.
Oh man. But yeah, because there was one point too that J-Hope and RM were like, I'm feeling this kind of thing. They were like dancing. And J-Hope too. Oh my gosh, this episode was hilarious because like he nonstop dancing from him. It was like he's so cute.
He
Every
was
single time
jamming
he
out
got
to
an answer.
everything, but knew nothing. He was like, I love this beat. I have no idea what this is. Nothing. I mean, he seemed like the one who knew the least. I was like, maybe he didn't watch any cartoons. Maybe he was like literally already in the street dancing. Like, he didn't have time for that.
Yeah. Poor
I did
poor
think
guy
him
though.
and RM were cute together. They're back and forth. They're always adorable, like the two of them. I love when they sit next to each other because they always laugh and end up like dancing together and like being silly. They're so cute.
Yeah, and I like that one part when Arms that one part they're like Kobe, and then Arms like, oh, but it's not Hobie, boom, boom.
Yeah. Right. Speaking of RM, sidebar, I really loved his outfit. I don't usually say that about RM, but he had like this like yellow and white like striped sweater and these cute shorts, and his hair's all like it was still a little bleached and whatever. And like I know it makes no difference, but boy, you look fine. You look good in this episode. I noticed. I was like, I mean, he always looks good, but I extra was like, ooh, RM's looking hot today. I mean, I thought about it more than once. So good job on the styling that day. Good job.
Yes. And Jin is like really funny too. Like I felt like he was an old man in this episode because he was like crossing his arms like this a lot. That I noticed from his body language. But it's funny though because he knew a lot of the answers too, so
he did. Didn't he give one to Jimin because he felt bad for him?
Yep, at the end Jimin got the last answer. The poor guy was like, I'm gonna be the one like going to the tower. So God.
I mean, and for everybody who's watched a lot of Run BTS, which is probably anyone watching this, we all know that Jimin does get a punishment a lot of the time, which is hilarious because he's talented and he's smart, But I mean, I feel like they make the game so that he'll never win.
Okay, speaking of prizes and punishment though, like did you see the long laundry list of each person of all the punishments? And he even said himself like when the producer was like, "Oh, so do you want to like eliminate all the punish like do a reset?" And then RM's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah," because he had a lot of punishments, right? But Jimin did too. And Jimin's like, and then V was like, "Oh yeah, the people who are like asking for a reset are the ones that have like the most punishments." And then Jimin leans over and he's like, "Did you notice that I have the most punishments, but I didn't raise my hand?" And then they fist bump or something, they did the like a little bromance thing going on, like, oh yeah,
And
was
they weren't
cute.
just punishments, they were rewards too, because some of them were like swap your penalty with someone else or trade. One of them was like make a wish.
Make a
JK
wish.
had
And
one
that's
that was
all
make a
JK.
wish.
Everyone had punishments except for
Except
JK.
JK. Well, of course,
JK.
JK was one of the ones who was like, no, I don't want to reset. That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah, but he didn't though. He was the one that tipped it over, to
Yeah,
like, okay, make it a reset. So he had a kind soul, I'm
he
like,
did. And I
yeah.
was assuming that those were outstanding punishments, right? Not ones they haven't had yet, or that they've got built up in the bank, like because they're so busy now. When they first started doing Run BTS, they would always show you that
Hmm.
the punishment when it was completed. But
Yeah.
now I feel like they're so busy, so they're just like piling up.
It totally piled up. Like each person had like three punishments at least,
Yeah.
except for JK, because
I was
it's
surprised
JK.
J-Hope didn't have more, honestly. He
Yeah.
also usually ends up with a few punishments.
Oh man. Yeah, but he did
And
he did pretty well.
and then speaking of the punishments, did you notice RM even called Jimin out because Jimin was like complimenting everyone and he's like, "Oh, are you doing this in case someone comes in last?" And he was like, "Yes,
Obviously.
100%." He's just
Obviously.
buttering everyone up, making sure that they remember that Jimin was like cheering them on.
Yeah. But that gotta suck though, like to be the penalty person to do the tower. So the tower didn't look so bad, like okay, granted,
It's hard to tell. It was hard to tell. It's very high, obviously.
so I don't know how to pronounce that. Lotte lot. How do you? I don't know.
I was
Lotte,
saying Lottie, but I'm sure that's
Lottie.
wrong. I was thinking of Kate Moss's daughter, Lottie Moss, but I'm sure that that's not how you pronounce. You know what I mean? Like, why would it be that? It's not short for Charlotte, so I don't
Yeah.
know. If
So
anyone can put a pronunciation in the comments, feel
I
free.
know. Please do.
Like a
Maybe,
phonic
yeah.
spelling.
So maybe I should have looked that up, but I did look that up though. It's the fifth the fifth largest skyscraper in the world. So it's
Whoa!
the largest in South Korea, but the largest well, it was fourth when it was newly built in 2017, but now it's the fifth largest skyscraper as
Wow, they
of
built
now.
so many already. Damn.
Yeah. And then it's about 1800, like they said, Shiga said was 541 meters, but I saw 555 meters on their website or Google.
And for Americans, how many feet is that?
That is 1800 feet, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
About 1800 feet high. So it
That's
is
pretty
really
tall.
high.
That's
It
pretty.
is, yeah. So I think it's like the first, like, hopefully I'm not quoting this wrong, like the first building in Korea with 100 floors or something like
Ooh.
that. It has a lot of floors, but yeah, it also has a hotel and stuff like that. But I mean, from the picture, it didn't look too bad,
No,
So
it just looked like one of those like rope bridges that you'd see like over, like a river. Like I was thinking that it looked like, don't they have those like at the Grand Canyon where you like go from one end to the other and it's almost like over the Colorado? Maybe they don't. They definitely have them in Indiana Jones, like in the Amazon, but I don't know if that's based on fact or if that's just something they made up. But I feel like I've seen them before on nature shows or something.
yeah, it reminded me, well, it's not walking, but it reminded me of Chicago actually, where we my best friend and I and her sister, we were in a building and we looked down. We were on this really it's like super tall skyscraper, and like we saw everything, and everything was all clear. Forgot what it's
Oh yeah,
called.
that's the Sears building, but they renamed it. I forget what they call it
Yeah,
now.
I forget,
But
but
it has like a glass observation
yeah,
tower, so it looks like you're just like walking on nothing. It's
yes,
terrifying.
yeah, it
And
kind of
I don't have a problem with heights, and it freaked me out.
it just kind of reminded me of that for some odd reason. It's not like you're walking from one point A to point B, but it just reminded me of like how high it is, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And let's keep in mind that, you know, BTS has a few well-documented scaredy cats. So for someone like J-Hope, that is literally, I mean, he'll freak out the entire time he does it, and then afterwards be like, "Oh, it's no big deal. I'm cool."
yeah.
And Suga also sometimes is a bit of a scaredy cat, which is
Well,
hilarious because he is a
well, he's the one that looked it up, and he's like, "Oh, it looks
like,
really scary." Yeah.
ooh.
So
And then
I
you'll
could
notice
see him.
JK was the one who, when they were like, just a loser goes, and he's like, no, going alone, that's no fun. He's like, the loser gets to pick someone, and everyone's like, really?
Yeah.
You want to do that? And he's like, yeah,
And,
okay,
and,
I'd like
and,
to
and
go.
yeah, and then like Jin even went along with him and was like, yeah, you know, like there should be another person, you know, that goes along with you know, it's more
With
fun
the
with another
loser.
person. Yeah. So I was like, dang,
But then that
okay.
really means it doesn't even matter if you win, because whoever loses can pick whoever. So it feels like technically you could win and still go.
Yeah.
Like they weren't clear about that. And I was like, this seems like a hole that you guys want to clear up before someone loses and is like, I'm taking the winner. Like,
Man, hopefully the winner will be exempt, you know. So, but
they
we'll
didn't put
see
that in
how
the
it goes.
rules, so we'll see how it goes.
That's true, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you love the anime children's songs because you were like, got these, know these. These are
Y-
awesome.
Yeah, so that it was really funny because I was like, oh my goodness, you know, like I actually know what they're talking about. This is really weird, you know. And when JK was like Pikachu, I'm like, oh, nope, nope,
Mm.
nope, it's Pokemon, you know. And lo and behold, Suga got it right, you know. Yeah, at least say pocket monster. That's another terminology for Pokemon.
Yeah, I
So
wonder if they would have accepted that, maybe.
yeah, literal translation, I guess. But I don't know. It was really funny because I was like, oh, this is a really exciting episode. Like I actually like relate to you guys right now. This is weird, you know? So
Hey, if you want to start learning Korean, this would probably be a good episode for you because you know what the things are actually called.
yeah.
So you could figure, you're like, oh, so this word means this. Although all the words were crazy, like Captain Planet or Little Goblin, or I mean, I'm not sure you need to know Little Goblin in Korean when you go over there, but
Yeah.
could be funny.
It would be, you know. Yeah, but the second part of their challenge was actually pretty fun too, because ding ding ding, I know the young young Turks Club. Did you
Oh
know
my
that
gosh, I
song?
was gonna say, didn't they already use Young Turks Club? I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure that they used that in a different Run BTS episode. The one, remember the one where JK had to call his mom? Like they basically gave them chances, like on I Want to Be a Millionaire, and he called his mom to ask if she knew what the song was, and then Jimin yelled, "Hi, mom," and she was like, "Is that Jimin? I love you." And Jimin like freaked out because he's like, "JK's mom loves me." Do you remember that
Oh
episode?
no,
I'm
I
90%
don't.
sure the song that they were calling about was Young Turks.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I
Oh
mean,
my
I guess
gosh.
it was the group. It probably wasn't that song. I will look that up. I will look that up. But I'm 90% sure because I remember thinking that's random. Like, what a random name for a group.
It's really funny because like they said that song is really popular in Korea. Okay.
How do you know it? You have to
So
backstory here. Backstory.
oh, this now I'm dating myself. This is back in the days when I was in K-pop before everyone else was, before the Korean wave happened, you know? So
When it was like really hard to find, like you couldn't just like Google everything.
this was the MIRC days, you know?
Ooh.
So if my girlfriend Kathy is watching this, you know, like she knows she knows exactly what I'm talking about, you know, because that's how my friend and I and my friend Danny too, we formed a relationship through K-pop.
Oh.
So yeah, it's through IRC and all that kind of stuff. But more of IRC and I can't pronounce it. But anyways, yeah. So and my friend Alvin too, so we have like a little group of us where we were already into K-pop. And mind you, we're not Korean. So you have a Vietnamese person, Chinese, another Chinese, another Chinese, So it was a great time, So
I love it. It just goes to show like it doesn't like language really doesn't matter. I mean, I grew up 15 minutes from Mexico, so I listened to a lot of Spanish speaking music and I had no idea what they were saying. None.
right?
And it didn't matter. I didn't care. Like it
Mhm.
was fun. That's all that mattered. So I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so that's how I knew of it, because it's one of the songs back in the day that was really popular. So when I heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is old school. 1996.
A year before
1996.
JK was born.
Damn, got put like that. Shoot. But yes. And 1996, I think they had like 3 albums. And we talked about this before. There aren't many co-ed bands, but that is actually a co-ed band.
Oh.
The part that you heard was all women. So there's 3 women and 2 men. And and it's funny because if you listen to the song its entirety, the men in the song kind of they kind of mumble a little bit. So it's kind of like can't really like hear them that much. It's like really softly like singing, but then you hear these women sing like they're kind of like, I wouldn't say the word bellowing, but you understand them. But then you go to like the 2 guys that are singing, they're like singing like this and that and this and that. You gotta listen to it afterwards,
So it's a nice role reversal from like a Western song where the girls would be like the background and the guys would be at the front. This sounds like the girls are like at the forefront of the song and the guys are like background.
Yeah,
Love
exactly.
it.
And you know what's really funny is that like Suga made a comment saying that this song was like in elementary. This song is about like from how I interpret this song, it's like pretty much like I want to be together with, it's like a love song, like unrequited love, and I'm
But
like,
this is the one, right? They did say like in the Korean subtitles, like I think they wrote on there, they were like a lot of schools do this in their talent show, like
yes,
elementary schools.
yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, and so I'm like, really? I hopefully it's like just the instrumental and not the actual words, because
well,
it's
there's
like
got to be songs like that that they use in America too. Like, I can't think of anyone now, of course, but there's probably plenty of like songs that you're like, should we let our 12-year-olds dance to this? Probably not. I
yeah,
bet you right now there is some like, junior high drill team practicing to WAP
oh,
right now.
that's true. Fair enough, girl. If y'all don't know what WAP is, I'm not gonna even
Google
explain it. GTS, Google that, beep, so yeah.
Okay, so and then, but explain what the second game was. It was 2 songs mashed up, right? So is it like the music of one song and the lyrics of a different one, and they had to sing it?
Yeah, so it sounds like from what I understood from it is, yeah, so they basically have to, each person had a part that they had to sing, and they have to sing all like within its entirety. So basically they had to memorize the lyrics.
Okay. But was
So
it to the same music it originally is? Was it just that there were 2 different songs? Because there was like the Black Shoe song and the Young Turk song.
yeah, it
Was that
sounds,
the mashup part? I was a little confused because I didn't know the song. So I was like, is this how it's supposed to sound? I don't know.
no. It's 2 separate songs.
Oh, okay,
Completely
gotcha.
2
Okay.
separate songs, but I don't know if they were making it as a mashup, because it looked like they cut off the episode right when they were gonna start singing the Black Rubber Shoes song, which I did not know, by the way. So that one I did
Oh,
not know.
you didn't know that. Well,
Yeah.
that makes me feel a little better because that song, I was like, the lyrics for this are weird. Like, why are they singing about their grandparents' shoes or what kind of shoes their grandparents wore? I don't know. I was just like, what is this about?
Yeah, that one I did not recognize. I probably
And
should
they
have
all
looked it
knew
up.
that one. It seemed like they knew that one better. They were like, oh, everyone knew that. Even JK was like, oh, I know this one. I was like, really? A song about grandparents' shoes?
Yeah,
What?
I know. And then like J-Hope and Jimin just got up immediately and just started like dancing. I was like, really? Over the okay, whatever makes you happy.
And like all challenges where they have to sing, the all of the rap line was like mortified. They were like immediately like, this song's too high, this song's too this song's too, and everyone else is like, you can just like talk, sing it, and they were like,
Oh
like they were all
man.
sweating. They were all sweating, and you can understand why, because JK didn't just sing the right part; he like embellished it.
Yeah, both Jimin and JK. I was like, yo.
Indeed. They were all like hitting all their notes and everything. And like with the other guys, it was like, we're letting this slide, we're letting this
Yeah.
slide. But with them, it was like, wow, that was what it sounded like.
And but even with Jin too, he's like, yeah, whatever, you know. And so he just like he was really off tone, I guess, you know, too, or off beat. So I thought that was funny too, even though he's part of the vocal line. He's like, whatever, you know,
Like,
like eh.
which basically is how I like to do karaoke too. I really hate it when you go to karaoke and someone's there with like their own mic and they just sing. Like if you go more than once, it's like one person has one song, so they sing amazingly, but you're like, this is boring. Like I think in karaoke it should be bad, even if you're a good singer. Like I never sing the same song twice because I'm like, whatever, who cares? Like you're allowed to be bad here. That's the
Oh
entire point.
man.
So I don't like it when people come in like oops, sorry, like it is American Idol and they're auditioning to, you know, be the next winner of The Voice. I'm like, please, it's karaoke. Will you just sing Love Shack and get out? Like, I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm looking at you.
Hey,
Yeah.
and this is why we get along, because when we go karaoke, we're gonna sing our heart out, and you're probably gonna see a different side of me that you've never seen before. And when I say different side, I mean like really awful singing. So, I mean, my life is already a musical. I sing a lot at work, you know, but it doesn't necessarily mean that my coworkers enjoy it because my voice is very not
I
the
do too.
greatest
I
singing
sing
voice.
everywhere, and I also car dance really hard. I've gotten thumbs up from people next to me at stoplights, and it's not because I'm doing a good job; it's because I'm doing so much. They're just like, "I'm appreciating your work, girl. Good job." It's like, also watch the light turn green. So go.
Hey, when you're just feeling the music, you're feeling the music,
Hey,
okay?
nothing you can do.
Yeah, I'm telling you again, you got me hooked on Stray Kids Thunderous, and that song is actually my anthem this past week, all morning before I go to the gym, because it's my hype song, and so I just need the hype music, you know, to get me pumped so I can lift.
Yeah,
So
of course. Also, sidebar, she lifts at like 7 a.m. So she definitely needs a hype song to wake up.
yes,
So
I need a
that
hype
makes
song.
total sense. But I was
It-
thinking for this, it was funny because like Suga at first was like super self-conscious. He's like, "Oh, it's really high. Like I'm gonna sound like crap." So he didn't try to like he tried to like be cool for like the first two rounds, but then he
yeah,
stopped trying to be cool, and he was great. Like
yeah.
I mean, it was a little high, but he sounded better when he stopped caring and when he just was like, "I'm into it now. Whatever. It's
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look cool. I'm over it." Like I love how he was a little shy at the beginning, and then he was like, "Whatever. I'm gonna suck," and then he sounded good.
Okay, and it's so funny too because like when they're drawing the numbers, like J-Hope was really excited to get number 7 and not be number 1,
And
and
then
then the poor guy, oh my gosh, he had the hardest part.
number
I
seven's actually bad because you have to remember it for so long.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I felt so bad for J-Hope though, but I
Mhm.
love the teamwork that they did though, because they kept repeating over and over for him to like memorize it. So that was good.
I also love that RM also was like, "This is way too high," but he just went for it, and he was just like, "Ah." I just love his commitment. He was like super into it, but like he knew it was terrible. He was like, "Whatever, I don't care." I just love that. I think that's so sexy.
Yeah, he's so funny. Yeah, he just I'm like, oh wow. Okay. But let's be real though, he really does know how to sing because
He
hello,
does.
Bicycle, you
Mhm.
know, that song was great. And we all know that he did not rap throughout that whole song, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trivia Love on Love Yourself, he sings all those parts, all the backup parts that people usually think are like B or someone else. No, that's him. He sings every single part in that song. So it's just, it feels like every time they karaoke, he gets a song that is not in his range. You know, like, it's not that he can't sing, it's that he cannot sing a large range. You know, Jimin can probably sing 2 octaves or 3 octaves like Mariah Carey, but RM has like 1 octave and he's great at it. Just let him be.
Just let him be in that sweet spot. They need to choose a song to be in that sweet spot for him.
Yeah. Leave the high stuff to Jin or Jimin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love, like, really into it, and he's like almost shouting, but he's still singing, you know what I mean? Where he's like takes a big breath and he's like, ah! I think it's so cute. I mean, he's better than that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I love how he like makes it kind of look like work. Jimin makes it look like it's never work, even though it is, and Jin's like, this is hard, FYI.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was so funny, like speaking of Jimin too, like he was so confident, like he was so confident about knowing his part in the beginning. He's like, yeah, I got this. And then the guy sings it and then boosh on his head. Oh my god.
And I know that's just aluminum, but the sound sounded like it was hitting real hard.
Yeah.
Like, when it hit on V's head, it sounded like a 2x4 hit him. I was just like, is he okay? And he was like, and I loved when they were all calling him out because he forgot the words, but when he forgot the words, he like stood up and they were all like, hey, sit down. You have to get knocked in the head. You see what we're doing. He was like, always trying to get out of things, V. Always trying to get out.
Hey, he's a smart man. And
usually they let him get away with it.
Not this time. Okay, but J-Hope though, like how animated was he when he got hit by the tray twice? I loved it. He knew it was coming too, and it knocked on his head, and like he just fell over. It was the cutest thing. I just loved it. I was like,
he has the best reactions. Literally any reaction he does. I mean, I think we were talking about Jin eating GIFs last time. This time, go Google J-Hope. J-Hope reactions. Oh, they are amazing. There is one for anything you'll ever need. And this was another one where I was like, oh, perfect. I'm going to use this for sure.
yeah,
100%.
someone's gonna make a meme out of it or
Already.
Jeff. You know, already, I'm sure.
Already on Twitter right now. Probably check it.
Oh,
he was so funny. He was so adorable. Like, I don't know how he makes everything fun, even when he doesn't know what's going on. Like, he had no idea what was going on in the first game, and he was still a riot. And he could not remember what was his lyrics for this game, but it was still funny and cute. Like, he just makes everything like a good time.
Oh God, yeah, totally.
Going to the DMV with J-Hope would be fun.
And the DMV is not a great place to be. So for you guys that are outside of the United States, Department of Motor Vehicles is a very boring place to be.
Yes. Watch Zootopia, the scene with the sloths. You'll get it. That's actually in a Run BTS episode. So watch that episode where they do the voiceovers for Zootopia, and you'll know what we're talking about.
There you go.
Bring it all back.
So good, girl. So good.
So what was the preview? And it seemed like there was going to be even more singing competitions, and I didn't recognize them, but they were obviously from like variety shows that you would know if you lived over there.
Okay, you must have recognized this part though.
No. What is that?
Oppa Gangnam Style. You know that little dance?
Okay. But like I thought that's not a song. So like, well, I mean it is a song, but it's not like it's not a game all around that one song, right?
Oh, I don't even know. But it was just like they were doing the hand motions like this, and I was like, that is Gangnam Style, you know?
It did look like they were going to do some more like real karaoke, like one-on-one kind of a deal. Maybe it's going to be like head-to-head, face-off.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm just looking forward to RM singing.
Yep. And they teased us with that. That was the cliffhanger because they knew we all want to see it. We all want to hear it.
They just cut us off right there. I was like, dang, man. Why?
But it seemed like they like played a snippet of a song and people got to like choose if they wanted to sing it or not. So I'm excited for that. I always think that those are fun. People
Yeah.
usually pick something funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that too. It's more old school songs, it seems like. So I'm really excited to see it.
And it's funny, even if I don't know any of the songs, how they react makes me laugh and makes me happy. Like, I don't need to know the songs. I know from their reaction what kind of a song it is.
Yeah. And it's so great. It's so great that I mean, I don't know why I'm so shocked because I love like a lot of songs from the 70s and I'm not born in the 70s, you know? But it's great that they know these songs though. Like,
Mhm.
you know, at least know that it's popular, you know, like that Young Turks Club song, you
It's
know?
probably songs that like their parents played when they were like cleaning or like hanging out or whatever, you know. That's how you end up knowing all those songs that you were, you know, that were from before you were born, like when your parents were in college. You're like,
Yeah.
why do I know this whole album?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so I am really I love it when they sing, you know, like these singing games. Obviously water games too, but the
Yes.
singing games
Ooh, they should
are
put those together. Can we get a singing water game, please? Please. That sounds amazing.
oh, you had two great things together. Yeah, but I think next week is gonna be a lot of fun too. So
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
really looking forward to it. I thought this one was so much fun and just I love their dynamic. They're so hilarious. Like I just thought the more they have fun, the more I have fun. So I'm really looking forward to next week when we know everyone will sing karaoke and JK will be the best, obviously, as per
Obviously.
usual.
I know the usual. I mean, the guy can rap, you know, really well. So, I
I
mean,
kind of
come
feel
on.
like at this point, the whole goal of Run BTS is to find one thing that JK sucks at. If they could do that, that would be amazing.
I'm like,
Because I
does
don't think he sucks at anything.
he's great at everything. Dear Lord.
It's not fair. Like, I want to know that he's bad at one thing. Maybe they should do knitting or something. No, he'd probably be good at
No, he's probably good at that too.
that. Come on, producers, find that one thing for us. Come
Oh
on.
man. Oh man. I'm like, what one thing would he be awful at? I'm like,
If
yeah,
you
I
think
can't
you
think of
know,
one.
put it in the comments.
I know. I know. I even like even in one of the shorts, you know, like that I posted, it was him like jumping off from a wall looking like Spider-Man. And I made this question like, is there anything that JK is not good at? And people responded. There's like,
Oh,
no, no, he's good at
it's an
everything.
established fact. He rules.
Yeah, hashtag facts. Yeah. Well, this is a great episode. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week and more singing, more fun, more of them being crazy, more of
More
them
dancing.
more dancing, more aluminum trays dropping on their heads, you know. Can't wait to see the conclusion of the black rubber whatever song that they're about to like commence. So, yeah, so do you have any final thoughts?
Nope, I just second all of that. And I'm very interested. I hope they kind of explain the black rubber shoes. I really have a lot of questions. You're going to need to put your research powers to work there.
I know. So be continued next week, and maybe there'll be more explanation from me about that. All right. So this concludes our episode for or our episode 152 recap. So we are LaChiMoLaLa,
LaChiMoLaLa.
and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Annyeong.